Can somebody confirm that am I audible?
Yes, Anbari, you are audible.
Okay, all right. Uh, Hello everyone. My name is Anwar Saeed and I'm currently an Alpha Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. And I'm also a student here at National Institute of Technology, Durgapur. Today, our guest speaker is Tasneem Kaushal. Last year, she qualified for Google Summer of Code and worked for Chromium organization. So welcome, Tasneem.
For having me. Hello to everyone. I hope we have a great interaction today. After a few minutes, I will be introducing you all to open source, and I'll show some open source organizations and some terms related with it. Okay.
Tasneem has a lot of experience regarding open source and artificial intelligence that will benefit the interests of our community. All right. So what exactly is Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador Program? Let me explain you the benefits associated with this program and how MLSA is important for a student. As we all know, the majority of professional grade software is practically out of reach for most of the students as they can't afford it. So which is why MLSA has come with all the benefits as long as you are a student. Being part of MLSA enables you to get exclusive learning resources from Microsoft, like Visual Studio and Microsoft Azure. You get to learn new tools from Microsoft. You can be a part of multiple summits, programs, and initiatives like Imagine Cup. You can make a difference in the world by empowering other people with latest technology. You can help others to build a prosperous community filled with learning. So there are lots of other benefits which are associated with this program. You can ask me anytime, any query about the program later in the community section. So let me tell you how to apply for this technical ambassador program. You can visit the official website of Student Ambassador, Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. So you will see a lot of information and past ambassadors and their experiences. They will share you like what events they attend and how it went very well for them. Okay, so what you need to do is that you just need to go directly to apply now. You will then need to sign up with your Microsoft account. And then you will see a lot of instructions are there. You will have to just read all these. But the main important thing is that there is the applicant questions. When you will read this, you will find that there are a total of 3 questions here. Out of these 3 questions, you need to select one question which you have to answer in a video. Okay, and in under 2 minutes. Okay, so you will have to answer that question in a video by interacting. You have to present yourself like so well, so well that you get a chance like to be a Microsoft ambassador. Okay, so other 2 questions, whichever question you select like for making the video, the other 2 questions will be there. Like you have to write some paragraphs for that, and that too should be good. Okay, so once you become a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador, you will be entitled like with so many resources and like learning benefits. And I will explain you like later in the community section. You can ask me. Okay, so this was the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador application way. You can apply it like that. All right, so let's move on to the next section. So before kicking off, like keep this session clean and focused. Avoid taking screenshots and hand notes. I'll be sharing most of the resources in the community later. And if you have any questions for me, you may ask them at the end. Let me tell you more about the community. The community that we are promoting, the community we created. It's a newly formed community where you will be getting most of the resources that you will need as a student. So later in this event, we will be explaining to you the motivation and our intention to make this community. So those who are still left to join the community, we will be sharing the joining link in the comments. You don't need to worry about. All right. So there are some information and instructions that you must know before you join the community. You need to read all the rules on the server before engaging. You will be provided with so many resources and opportunities, and you will get to meet a lot of new people, okay, from across the globe. We will try to connect you with them, and you can engage with us all. Okay, so we will be guiding you all through your student years. Some important things to keep in mind is like, please ensure to fill the feedback form at the very end of the session so that you remain eligible for the certification. For the certification, we'll be providing you the certificates. And so you guys, what you have to do is like, you guys can post your certificate on your LinkedIn profile. And those who are still yet to make a profile, so you must create one and make sure to tag me, Anwar Saeed, and tag hashtag MLSA before you make a post. Okay, so tagging like this can bring opportunities to you guys. Okay, so AI 101, Introduction to Artificial Intelligence. So let me give you a disclaimer here that it is just an introductory AI event. We will not discuss any statistics or math related stuffs, nor it is a programming intensive workshop. We will be discussing all the basics and fundamentals related to the concept. So what exactly is artificial intelligence? So in my understanding, so anything like that can mimic a human behavior. There are many companies and many organizations that have tried to define artificial intelligence in its own way. Like according to the definition of Merriam-Webster, it is like a branch of computer science dealing with the simulation of intelligent behavior in computers. The Intel has its own definition of a program that can sense, reason, act, and adapt. Wikipedia has got its own definition. But let me tell you what artificial intelligence exactly is. Artificial intelligence is like using computers to solve problems or make automated decisions for tasks that when done by humans typically require intelligence. Okay, so let me give you an example. Suppose there is a child in your home, a 3-year child, and you have some shapes with you, like a circular shape, a triangular shape, or a rectangular shape, and you give all those shapes to that child. And you ask the child to distinguish between these three objects. The child is able to like, will be easily able to distinguish. And we generally take it as granted, like, yeah, that is a child, that is a very easy task that anybody can perform. But if you ask the same task to a machine, will the machine be able to do the same task with that much ease? No. As you guys are mostly in the freshers here, I guess. So you must be like explicitly programming. So you must have learned some programming languages like C++, either Python or JavaScript, and you would have read like you can write some codes about conditional statements like if and else, if and buts. There are some statements like that. So you will be able to like, if I tell you like, can you distinguish between those figures? So you will do what? You will write some statements like if, else, and else if, these kinds of statements, and try to distinguish with a program. But what if I increase the size of it? What if I like introduced a new new figure, new shape to you? You will have to like continuously adapt. You will have to continuously change the program according to the need. So that is quite messy. Right. So what we need like isn't like something that can intelligently guess patterns. That will be a great thing, right? Using the traditional way of C++ or a Python program to achieve the same task is will be a very hectic way. Okay, so this is the main idea behind the artificial intelligence. Okay, so you guys might have like heard about artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning, but can you state the difference between these three? Like what exactly is the difference? What artificial intelligence is, how it is different, how like machine learning differs from artificial intelligence or deep learning differs from machine learning? Let me check on the comments. So you try to write some comments. Let me see that somebody can guess. If you don't know, I'll explain you guys. Okay. You guys are in the like starting year of your college. So these are some new topics. Okay, artificial intelligence work in the data. Harshvardhan is saying artificial intelligence work in the data. Anybody else? Deep learning is subset of machine learning and they both are subset of AI. Yeah. Aditya is right. Deep learning involves neural networks. That is correct. Tilak, correct. Deep learning and ML are like basic of AI. Machine learning works on robot. Okay, that is some unique answer. AI is a superset of both ML and deep learning. Deep learning is like brain of human. Okay, I've read so many comments. These are some interesting comments. So let me tell you. Okay, so artificial intelligence is whatever that can like mimic a human behavior, some intelligence that can mimic a human. We already discussed about that. Then what is this machine learning? So machine learning comes under artificial intelligence. Okay, so machine learning is like a little tricky here. Okay, machine learning has some what we say several learning algorithms that are predefined and coded. Okay, so while we like start doing a project or while we like work with a machine learning, we don't have to like devise a new algorithm. Okay, we don't have to like see the internal parts of an algorithm. Okay, we just have to like there are some predefined algorithms, learning algorithms, and we can use it in our projects. That will help you. That will help us like predicting and I'll explain you guys about machine learning like more. And deep learning is associated with neural network. As somebody said in the comments, deep learning is associated with neural networks. Machine learning has some like learning algorithms that are predefined. Okay, so in machine learning, what happens is like uh, performance always increases. If you are using an ideal, like for the problem statement, you are always provided with a problem statement. Okay, and every time you will have to choose between one of the like learning algorithms. Okay, so problem statement requires if you choose like a simulated, correct, an ideal learning algorithm for a problem statement, then it all depends on the data set. Okay, so how much data you are providing to that machine learning model, the project, your performance will gradually depend on that. Okay, so in machine learning, we study about those like learning algorithms and where to use which algorithm that will make our like accuracy, that will improve our accuracy. I'll tell you guys more about that, but let me give you some more examples on deep learning. So deep learning, like the main and the most popular sections of deep learning are like computer vision, natural language processing, recommended system, reinforcement learning. In computer vision, we can see like self-driving cars. Okay, so it's very popular nowadays, like self-driving cars. Okay, so what happens is like in cars, we devise some artificial intelligence, like deep learning concepts. And what happens like when a car is like moving on a road and a person comes in front of it. So what it devises like it quickly, greater than the like reaction time of a human being, it quickly breaks itself. That saves the life of a person. Okay, so there are some because for that analysis, the car must have like a for its vision, like it have to scan around, the area around it. So these things come under deep learning. Okay, and then there is this real-time translation. So it also comes under deep learning. Like some people among us, among you, like would be willing to travel. Like when you will be settled into your career, you will be willing to travel like around the world. And the main barrier when it comes to like traveling is the language, right? So when we go to a new area, we see that we meet lots of new people, but we fail to interact properly. Okay, so they are speaking some different language and we try to communicate with it. So we had just every time we have to like, if there is not a like a deep learning like concepts, we will have to every time search in books or ask somebody like what the person is trying to actually say. And like the dictionary wise translation is a bad idea, right? Somebody is joking, is making a humor. So like the dictionary can't depict it. So that's where like deep learning can help you. It will can help you like the situation based what exactly the person is trying to say here. Okay, so these are some real-time translation. Then there is the virtual assistants. I'll tell you more about these examples. Then there is recommender system like Facebook feed. You guys have like used the Facebook. Every time you open it, you just get stick into the Facebook app. There are so many interesting like feeds come up because the Facebook knows about your interests, right? It always shows you those types of posts that captures your eye and you want to like look into more, and they get more of their data and they try to like increase your feed up, like fill up your feed with such types of posts. So these are some applications, like current applications, like businesses are using these types of solutions. Okay, so let me move on to the next section. And machine learning, if I'll tell you about machine learning, like machine learning uses more about like if you say like statistics, there is this probability, there is this algebra concept, these kinds of things, some calculus. Okay, some comes into that. If you will go deep into the machine learning, then you will like face that you should have a little understanding of these concepts as well. But in the starting phase, you can just look at the, I will tell you what are the like several learning algorithms that you can start learning first and use it in your project. Okay, let's move to the next section. Artificial intelligence examples. So many among you would recognize this advanced robot. Let me see in the comments who recognizes this, the right corner, the right below corner. Can anybody identify who is she? Let me see. Sophia, yeah. Jakka Lokesh. Okay, Sophia, yeah. So people knows about these things, right? Yeah, that's good. Okay, so she is Sophia. Okay, so she has beautiful facial expressions. She can somewhat comprehend abstract idea. She is like, she can show you emotions like she's happy, she is sad, upset. And let me tell you, like IIT Bombay was very lucky to have her in their seminar. The students in like IIT Bombay were like, I would say they were very lucky because I want to meet Sophia as well. She's like a very advanced robot. If you just like make a proper structure of a human body into that, she will look like a proper human being. Okay, so there are some other like uh, examples as Alexa. Just in my home, I use Alexa very much. I like Alexa. Okay, so there is this Cortana, there is this Google Assistant, Siri in your phones. So there are some advanced like artificial intelligence examples. We use artificial intelligence in online payments, like to detect frauds. You use we use artificial intelligence in Google, like when you search something, like there is the natural language processing मतलब works automatically. एंड तुमको क्या होता है कि तुमको दिखाता है कि अच्छा मतलब क्या सर्च करने वाले हो, you get to know like वो the probable searches, and sometimes it exactly matches what you want to search. So these things are being constantly there as these service chatbots. You must have felt like while many of you were like in the coaching institutes, okay, you prepared for JEE, and whenever actually I like studied on my own when I was preparing for JEE. So whenever I used to visit a coaching institute website, I used to see that in the right bottom corner, I used to see that there are some chatbots. Okay, so you try to interact with them and they try to like solve some of your simple queries. Like you wanna somebody's contact, like the coaching institutes, they are going to provide you. You want some information about the courses, they are going to provide you. But if you make your query a little complex, then those service chatbots like failed. They try to then connect you like to a human being who can clear your query faster. So these are some kinds of like weak and strong artificial intelligence. So just like Sophia, a lot of work has been done, a lot of like investment has been made into that. All right, so we'll move on to the next section. So weak AI and strong AI. All right. See, as many of you would be having like would have used like many virtual assistants like Siri, Alexa, but like, let me tell you, like my example, when I first bought Alexa, what happened like the first day, she was very interesting to me. I used to talk with her a lot. Okay, I used to ask different questions. I used to search Google, like what questions can I ask and what funny answers she will give. But gradually, as the time passed, I felt like the Alexa is not very much like a human being. she answers like like there is somebody behind the server who is talking to us. But the Alexa, there seems like their intelligence is a little lower than us. She is giving some repeated answers. Okay, so these are like whatever the artificial intelligence that our current world is using, that is weak artificial intelligence. Okay. Then there comes the strong artificial intelligence. So are we able to have we achieved the strong artificial intelligence? No, we are not even near strong artificial intelligence. It is completely theoretical. All right. So in strong artificial intelligence, what we are trying is like to match the human brain, the mental capabilities of a human brain. If we achieve that, then you can think like a machine, like a machine who gets never tired, who never complains, will be like a will be working like a human being. That will be like a great miracle. That will be magic. Okay. So some examples would be like you have seen in Terminator movies. Okay. And there is this vision in the Marvel movie. Okay. So there are some examples of strong AI. So currently we are in the phase of weak AI. Artificial intelligence has not gained very strong, and there is we are moving towards strong artificial intelligence. Let's see, like from our institute only, let's see some go like into that level, making near strong AI. Somebody like reaches in their higher careers. All right, so let's move on to the next section. So what is machine learning? Okay, so we like talked about artificial intelligence. We even talked about examples of artificial intelligence that come under deep learning. But if we specifically talk about what is machine learning, so according to the definition, the study and construction of programs that are not explicitly programmed, but learn patterns as they are exposed to more data. Okay, so the keywords that are noticeable here are patterns and learning. So these two keywords are most important for like a machine learning. Okay, let me just confirm, am I audible to you guys, right? Somebody?
Yes, Anwar.
Oh, okay, all right. If like I'm not checking the comments, so if I guess if I get to get carried away, so I will not be following up. So that's why I asked. Okay, no problem. So you guys are freshers, so you code very explicit programs. So but we always feel a need that कि ऐसा कुछ होता, ठीक है, जो कि पैटर्न खुद ही फाइंड कर लेता, ठीक है. सो व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड मशीन लर्निंग, जब मैंने मशीन लर्निंग अपने फेज में स्टार्ट किया, तो उस वक्त मैं सोचता था क्या कि मशीन लर्निंग ना मतलब एक ऐसी चीज होती होगी ना जिसे कोड करते 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 सुबह से शाम हो जाती होगी. मतलब जब लोग सेमेस्टर्स वगैरह में पढ़ते होंगे तो कॉम्प्लेक्स चीज होती होगी, है ना. आई यूज्ड टू थिंक अबाउट दैट. लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है, ठीक है. मशीन लर्निंग में क्या है ना कि ऑलरेडी जो लर्निंग एल्गोरिदम्स हैं, देयर आर लर्निंग एल्गोरिदम्स, यू जस्ट हैव टू इंपोर्ट इट. तुमको सिर्फ you guys go and watch some like projects. Those are very easy projects. You will just need to see one or two projects and you will get the idea like how machine learning is actually working. I'll tell you. Okay, so like machine learning finds patterns from a previous data set that you provide. So machine learning, like you have the algorithm is already ready. That does not mean that we have already created the solution to every problem in the world. We need the data set, the data. Like actually we in the last decade only we are gathering so much data. That's why we are like more advancing. I'll tell you later in the sections. Okay, so we do not have like authentic and practical data that much. That's why our machine learning models are not able to function that much well. So machine learning is already like mostly concerned with the input data, the data set that you have, and the proper ideal machine learning model, machine learning algorithm that you are going to combine them to. Okay, so these are the two. The algorithms are already developed and it is already matlab, every day like it is being developed. That's not a problem. But like the data set, the data, that is important. Like how can we like process those data for a particular machine learning model? I'll tell you. Okay, so this is the concept. My machine learning, like learning algorithms are there, and then you have the data. Okay, so these two when are connected give you like best results. You will give like accurate results. It will be like magic. You just start like working with machine learning. You will see. Okay, let's learn. Okay, let me tell you. like how can a machine learning help like a small business to grow? Small businesses are not going to like use machine learning, but let me give you with a small example. Okay, suppose there is an ice cream shop. Okay, एक ice cream shop है, ठीक है. उसके पास क्या है ना कि he is the shop owner is like bringing daily wages. ठीक है, रोज रोज उनको वर्कर्स चाहिए होता है. ठीक है, अब क्या हो रहा है क्या कि उसके पास वर्कर्स तो मतलब क्या है कि वो उसको ये नहीं है मालूम है कि किस दिन कितना वर्कर्स चाहिए. ठीक है, someday he is great, someday he is taking like too much workers and the work is less, and someday like the shortage of workers the shopkeeper is facing. So he tried, like he called a machine learning engineer. Okay, can you please tell me a way, like how can I decide like which on which day my sales would be higher, on which day my sales would be lower, because I have to pay these many workers so much of wages that I am going in loss. So एक machine learning engineer क्या करेगा? Okay, so he will ask the shop owner, क्या आपने कोई previous data set manage किया है कि अगर luckily, if luckily the shopkeeper had been maintaining like every day what okay, the next slide. Okay, yeah, luckily the shopkeeper is maintaining a data set. Okay, so data sheet with like temperature, what was the temperature at that day, what was the weather conditions, and much more features. The shopkeeper was maintaining all them, and what was his number of sales. Okay, so we can guess ourselves like in weekends. Okay, so in weekends and in sunny and hot days, people prefer ice creams very much. I used to eat a lot of ice creams when I was like in my whenever I am in home. So ice cream sales are lower during these days. Obviously, in weekdays, cold, cloudy, rainy days, ice creams like tends to like sales of it decreases. Obviously, so what a machine learning engineer would do, he will take the data set from the shopkeeper, then it will show it to the like the machine learning model. It will feed it to a machine learning model. The machine learning model is itself, you don't have to explicitly tell everything. It will itself like find the pattern, is able to recognize like from the past data set that if today is like this temperature, the weather condition is this, then how much workers do you exactly need? So if these things are like being used by the shopkeeper, he don't have to go in such losses. He don't have to bring like extra workers for that. Okay, so this is like a small, very small like machine learning. How can like from the previous data set, machine learning model can predict like how much sales you expect. Can you expect? It is not that it will always be correct. That's why the concept of accuracy is there. Okay, we always like measure the how accurate your machine learning model is. Sometimes it is 75%, sometimes at 85%, sometimes at 97%. So according to the previous data set, okay, the shop owner is able to predict how much workers does he exactly need. And on an average, machine learning can guarantee if there is a proper data set is there, okay, the machine learning can guarantee he won't have to pay those workers extra wages and he will be in profit. So then that's a like a voila for the shopkeeper. Okay, so before like proceeding any further with the concepts, let me like make you introduce to like two important concepts of features and labels. I think many among you knows this basic concept already, but because some people are not aware, so let me tell you, like I have deliberately chooses a fancy picture of a cat on the right. Okay, so that is wearing a spectacle and sitting on a chair. Okay, and the picture on the left is of like a simple cat. Okay, so a cat generally has what? She has a fur, she has a tail, some paws, whiskers, triangular ears and nose. Okay, so features. Okay, so the triangular ears and nose, fur, tail and paws, these are features of a cat because these are the defining characteristics with which a human being, if sees a pet animal, can distinguish she is a cat. Okay, by looking at her nose, ears. But wearing a glass or sitting on a chair is not a feature for an animal to be a cat. An animal can sit, an animal like somebody can put a glass on the eye of a cat, but that is not the defining characteristic, right? So if there is a problem statement, suppose there is a problem statement, like you have been provided with a million pictures, okay, of a cat, and you will have of a cat, dog, pet animals, and you have to like separate, distinguish all the cat pictures out from that and like locate it somewhere else. So the machine learning model will require, okay, so what's the label? The label here is the cat because this is the output that you are expecting, because cat possess all these features, okay, and all the features, not wearing a glass or sitting on a chair, okay, all these features like triangular ears, nose, fur, tail, paws, these are features. Okay, so machine learning always expects features and labels. Not always, I'm not talking about unsupervised machine learning. I'll tell you like later in the sections, but generally when you will work like on simpler data on your college, you will be like working with features and labels. Like in the case of like in the ice cream sale. Okay, so when we were talking about ice cream sale here, what was the label? The label was the number of sales, because the number of sales was depending on what? Temperature, weather conditions, and the extra features that were like uh, the machine learning engineer would have like asked for. Okay, so these are the features and the number of sales is the label. All right, so features and labels is, I think, is clear to everyone. Okay, yeah, let's move on to the next section because it will take so much time. All right. Yeah, so I've actually devised a complete machine learning workflow. Okay, so whenever in your college, like after college, whenever you will be making a machine learning project, okay, so you will have to go through each and every steps. Okay, let me see if the meeting is being recorded or not. Yes, it's being recorded. All right. So you will have to step by step go through these like processes one by one. You cannot skip any step. This is the complete machine learning workflow, and I'll explain you like all the steps. So this is like how do we actually like do machine learning. Okay, so let me tell you about like the problem statement, like identifying the problem, like it is either supervised or unsupervised. Don't worry, I'll explain you. Okay, so it is either supervised, unsupervised. It is a regression or a classification problem. What are the features and labels? I explained you just now. And which model to choose, because there are a lot of model learning algorithms are there. So by looking at the problem statement, we have to like decode these properties. Then there comes the data collection part. We need real world authentic data. We cannot create data on our own. Okay, so we need real world authentic data. We have to like, there are organizations that are practically moving from location to location and have fit their machines in oceans, machines in like different locations, moon, etc. Every location which they like a problem statement, there is a like a not a problem statement but actual world problem, they have fit their like devices there to record like for us every second's data. Those devices are recording data. So, but as a student, we can't do like we cannot afford, right? We cannot even pay for a private company for our data. So what we do is like we like take away these like data collection from the either from the internet, or the second step is like we can do web scraping. So I'll tell you, I'll explain you, give resources all about that in the community later. But like there are some resources I can tell you now. There is a UCI ML website. You can go and you will see like there are thousands and thousands of data sets already available there. Okay, so let me add one more fact here, that the data that you will, because we are already we are working only on a computer, right? So the data can only be in the form of images, either images, it will be either an audio or a video, a numbers or a text. Apart from this, no other type of data is there is there. Okay, so the data is only formed in these kinds like images, audio, either audio or video or numbers or text. Okay, the next step is data pre-processing. So data collection, like we collected the data. Okay, so I'll explain to you like what if the data we collected, okay, just leave it. Data pre-processing. So some specified machine learning algorithms needs data in the specified format. Like you have to change your data, the collected data into a specific format before you can put it inside the learning algorithm. Just like I told you, like there are machine learning algorithms. You cannot just put any kind of data into that. You will just have to, you will first have to format the data into the specified format. Sometimes the data you collected is inconsistent. It may contain duplicate data. So you need to filter all these. You need to clean this data first before you can put into the machine learning model. Then there comes the feature selection part. Okay. So selecting the features that are affecting your target label. I already told you about labels. So selecting the features that are affecting your target label. Like in the case of cats, wearing a sitting on a chair or wearing on a glass is not a is not a feature. So you will have to feature selection proper feature selection should be there, selecting the features that are affecting your target label and remove all unnecessary information. Model selection, then there comes the model selection. So in machine learning, we already have all the algorithms and model predefined and coded. We are only required to choose between them for according to the problem statement. This is what machine learning engineers do. We understand the problem statement, then we come up with a proper a model selection. And let me tell you, from my personal experience, data collection, that is the second step, and data pre-processing, that is the third step, are the most time-consuming step. Okay. So I think the complete machine learning workflow, the final steps like training the model, parameter tuning, prediction, that is not just to explain you right now. When you will come up with the choosing the model, you will automatically understand what these are, like training, parameter tuning. You just have to read few articles and it will be over. Okay. Now let's move on to the next section. Okay. So there are two types of machine learning. I already told you all the concepts before. See, I have seen in various community lectures like that. They explain first, they introduce to the machine learning and they directly explain you what is supervised, this is unsupervised. Okay, so that creates a little confusion. That's why I put it later in the video, later in your explanation. Okay, so what is supervised learning? So we provide the machine with a correct input output pair with a correct label feature. Okay, so the data set that we will be in the supervised learning, there are lots of algorithms are there. I'll tell you how many algorithms and what are their names. I'll tell you in this video only. Okay. So the data set that you will provide to supervised learning will have a correct input output pair. Okay, but in unsupervised learning does not have a target value. This may confuse you a little bit, but as you continue progressing towards in the machine learning field, you will get to understand oh, this is unsupervised, because in your college period, unsupervised learning is a thing that will be less useful to you guys. You will first have to go through supervised learning and then you will go to the unsupervised learning. Okay. The supervised learning can make predictions, but unsupervised learning is used to find patterns in data. We don't expect an output in unsupervised learning. We only expect the pattern, finding patterns in the input data. All right. So supervised learning make predictions in the form of numbers. In the integers, it will tell you about some classifications, like whether it is a cat or not. Integers how much sales is expected today. These kinds of things are done by supervised learning, and unsupervised learning only find patterns in data. So in supervised learning, I can tell you an example like animal classification, like cat, dog, like these kinds of classifications you can do in the computer vision part. And in the unsupervised learning, there is this customer segmentation that is currently out of the scope of this video. So I'm just skipping that part. But if somebody is interested, he can browse the internet for such concepts. All right. So let me move on to the next section. So two main types of machine learning. So now we will look at commonly used learning algorithms that you can directly use in machine learning projects. We will talk about them, but we will not go into them. Okay, understanding these algorithms is not the scope of this event, but I'll share all the necessary resources into in the community later. Okay, and selection of an algorithm depends on the problem statement. Keep in mind that selection of an algorithm depends on the problem statement and the output, that is the prediction that we desire. Okay, so inside supervised learning, there is this regression and classification. Just a few articles would be like fine for you. Inside regression, we have linear regression, we have decision tree. The names might confuse, like they are like very advanced things, but they are simple to use. There is this linear regression, decision tree, random forest, neural network. And inside classification, there is this logistic regression, support vector machine, a naive Bayes, and some other algorithms are there. Okay, so in unsupervised learning, the famous algorithm inside clustering is k-means, and there is this dimensionality reduction. Okay, only few of these algorithms will be enough while you are in the college. Okay. Finally, now it's the fun time. We will be playing a quiz. So everybody like who is watching on a phone or a desktop would be using another device, because I will be like the question and the options will be visible only on my screen, and you will have to use another device because you have to look the question on this screen. Okay, and let me tell you, like there are limited seats and limited time for every question. And when you visit the Kahoot website, so you can like start www.kahoot.it if anybody has a different device. Okay, so you can go and open this website. I'll be sharing the game pin just a few minutes. Okay, so when you visit the Kahoot website, okay, so it will ask you for a joining pin. It will be a fun, fastest finger first quiz. Like keep in mind that every question takes an average of 10 seconds. Only one question is taking 30 seconds because that is a little analytical question. But like the quiz will be very interesting quiz. I've personally like developed this quiz. Okay, and okay, so everybody, like let me uh, Om.
हाँ भाई.
Yeah, am I audible, right?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay, okay. So I'm sharing the game pin here. Let me see how many people join now. All right. Okay, so you see, there are limited seats. I told you. So the ones who will like join fast will be able to play it. Okay. All right. It's an interesting quiz. And I'll tell you about the winner first. What are the benefits associated? Who will win this quiz? Okay. Not this one, this one. Okay. All right. So get ready to join because there are only limited seats here. Okay, Om, is the game pin visible on my screen?
Yeah, it's completely visible.
Okay,
5,000.
all right. Let's see how many people join. Gautam, okay, Saptarshi, Achuri, okay, okay. Already 16, already 18. Only one person, okay. So there were only 20 seats, okay, because, okay, there is 21. I don't know. I thought it was just like a 20 people game. Okay, let's see then. And let me tell you, uh, the person who will win this quiz, I'll personally interview that person and will recommend him for Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. Okay, so be ready. I'll take one more minute. So guys, join fast. I did not expect it like 31 people will be joining the quiz. That's great. 33. Okay. As soon as I'll see that people are not joining, I'll start the game.
Anwar, I guess we have saturated number of members.
Okay, all right.
I guess we
So
can
now I'm going
start.
to start the game. Okay, so everybody, the question will be visible. The question and the options will be visible on my screen only. You will have 4 options on your phone screen or the laptop screen. You will have to choose among those 4 options. Okay, let me minimize this if it does not hide like the options. Okay, 35. Okay, so let's begin. Start. I'll read the question only, not the options. Which organization has developed the humanoid robot Sophia? Only 4 seconds left. All right, only 11 answered it correct. The correct answer is Hanson Robotics. Okay, let's see the podium for the. It's just a temporary now. So Tilak gave like he chose the answers. Like he's the first now. Then there is Ritu Das, Rishita. Okay. Then the next question. All right. Name of the famous humanoid robot developed by the company Honda. So many people. Okay. So 9 people. Oh no, 9, not 10 people corrected right. Okay. Let's see if the standing positions changes. Okay, so Prince Maurya is on the first position, then there is Somyadeep, and then there is Tilak. All right. Like the rankings are changing so frequently. All right. The third question, which organization developed the humanoid robot Atlas, which was developed to carry out rescue missions? Okay, okay. 19 marked it correct. Let's see the standing positions. Still Prince Maurya is at the top. Then there is Somyadeep and then there is Tilak. All right. So 2 questions left. The positions like change. Try your best. And like those who are marking it first are getting more points. Keep in mind. Okay. So don't take too much time. Next. Which of the following is a scenario where an AI is being asked to make an ethical decision? Thirty seconds are there. Nineteen marked it correct. Nice. Okay. The final question will appear and it will be only of 10 seconds. So marked fast. Okay. Okay. 4 players. Okay, so this is the standing. Okay, let's move on to the final question. Prince Maurya, Ayush Anand, and Rishita is at the third. Okay, the final question is going to appear on your screen right now. Okay, so 25 people have already joined our Discord community. Nice. Let's see the final positions. At the third, there is Rishita. Second is Ayush Anand. And the first position goes to Prince Maurya. Congratulations, Prince. I'll note down your name. Om.
Yeah, I'll just take
इसका नाम याद रखो, ठीक है? Okay. Okay, let's move on to the next section. Okay, the quiz is over. So it was a fun quiz. I did not thought like so many people will participate. Okay, let's move on to the next part. The quiz went very well. Let's move on to the next section. Now I'll be handling over the mic to our guest speaker, Tasneem Kaushal. She has made lots of contributions to the open source technology, and she is quite passionate and will guide you all about open source. Tasneem?
Hello, Anwar.
Okay,
Wow,
I'll
such
stop
a
presenting.
beautiful explanation, such a beautiful explanation on AI, and the quiz was really interesting. I did not participate, but I really enjoyed watching everyone just running over the first position. Okay, hello everyone. I hope you all are enjoying the session. And Anwar really explained really good, and you must have got something over AI, and you must have quenched your curiosity. Now, let's dive into open source. So, before starting, let me tell you that here I won't be going into details of proposal and Google Summer of Code only. My main agenda over here is that you must get some insight of open source, and you should get started with the contributions. So let me first explain what open source is. Basically, if a project is really large and you want contributors from across the globe to just come and contribute to your project, so you just open your project as an open source. Contributors come. If they find some bug in your project, they report it, open an issue and get it. And if they want to enhance your project with some additional features, they can do the same. So in 2021, I got selected for Google Summer of Code. I worked for Chromium organization over Puppeteer project. I think many of you would have been done web scraping and would very well know what Puppeteer is. Those who don't know, let me tell you,
Tasneem,
Puppeteer. Yeah.
like, were you
Okay.
also like
I am
present?
not sharing anything. I'm not
Yes.
sharing anything. Wait.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
just sharing.
All right.
Wait. Um, Tell me if my screen is visible, Anwar.
Yeah, it's visible and we can see your team screen.
Yeah,
Okay.
my mic
Tell
was
me
turned off. Okay, it's visible.
visible. Okay, so this is the Puppeteer repository. I worked over this project, and throughout the project I created an automated documentation of Puppeteer. If you want to see my work, you can just go and check out and just check out, like I will be providing the link to the website. If you go to this contributors and just look for my name, yeah, you can see that I have done 18 commits during my Google Summer of Code. And this is just, I'm just using Puppeteer as an example repository to explain different terms in open source. So the first thing that comes to you, how you would get to know about this repository. So most of the repository is incorporated with a special file that is contributing.md. If you want to know what this project is about and how you can contribute to this project, you can just go read its contributing.md. It will show you what this is about, how you can contribute, how you can run this project in your system. Everything is mentioned here. And after reading this, you can just go to the issue section. These are issues, like if someone has found some bug and some want to some add some enhancement to the project, they can just go and open issues. And if you are a newcomer, just then you can just go and check out the labels. Labels are just tag that is given to an issue. And there is a really good issue to start with, that is good first issue. Let me, yeah, here there is one good first issue. You can just start with this. And like if you want, if you have found some bug on your own and want to report this and work over this, you can just start a new issue on your own. Right now I have not signed up in on GitHub. So but if you have a GitHub account, you will direct it to an issue section where you can just enter the title, what this issue is about, where, or if it's yeah, And if it's enhancement, you can propose your features. And one thing, while asking for any bug or introducing any enhancement, be very precise while writing your messages on GitHub. It should be precise and meaningful. It should not be a full half page paragraph. It should be really really precise. Okay, only then reviewer will give you some attention and you will get the issue. And yeah, make sure, like here you can find there are many issues open. So you might be thinking, okay, I will just go and I know, okay, I can fix this, I'll just go and fix this. But you must see if this issue has been assigned to someone or not. Suppose you have written your code, you just pushed your code, but after some time you just realize that someone has already been assigned this issue, then reviewer will not accept your get started with some really good organizations. This is Forsesha. It has many open source projects. You can just go open source on front end, also server and hardware also. So you can just go and look into its code base and start contributing. And like if you are someone who are not into development yet, then don't panic. You can also get started with contribution. Like when it comes to open source, people generally overhype it. Okay, this is something that I can't do, I need to be a pro coder or something. But this is not always true. You can just go, if you're really really new beginner in development, just go find out some grammatical error in its readme.md. Readme.md is a special document which tells all about the repository. If you find any error in its grammatical error, or if you want to enhance its readme.md, you can just open an issue and give your contribution. And if you want to know more about open source and what are various open source programs and many projects, you can just go and watch my video. Here I've explained about my proposal also. Here you, in the description, you can find various organizations which I mentioned and I kind of explored during while preparing my proposal for GSOC. And these are some of the open source programs that has been introduced to encourage contributors for open source, like Hacktoberfest, Outreachy, Internship, Girl Script Summer of Code, Res Girl Summer of Code, Code It, MLH. Like you can just go and apply there. And if you have done everything well, I hope you would get selected and get started with your contribution. I hope I have made myself clear. I will be providing this YouTube link in the chat. You can just go and check that out. Okay. Anwar, I think I have made myself clear. I don't have anything else to share.
Yeah, that
Thank
was
you.
great. Okay, all right. So you can stop presenting. Okay, all right. So Om, is my screen visible?
Yes.
Om?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, all right. So thanks, Tasneem, for sharing such valuable experience with us all. We hope and wish that you achieve new milestones in your career and continue being a part of this community and guide us. And now we will be moving on to the next section of our event. So now I'll be handling the mic now over to Om Shashwat. So Om is doing great in research works and is quite passionate about community work. He will explain to you guys about the motive behind starting a community to help young students in the early semesters about various resources and opportunities that following years will bring to you. Om?
Uh, oh yeah. Thank you, Anwar. So yeah, it was a great session by you and Tasneem. Hats off. And yeah, so guys, I hope you all are enjoying, right? You have the chat box with you also. You can just put some chats, which will inspire us to have such sessions more. Enjoying a lot. Yeah. Thanks, Ayush. Yeah, cool. Okay, so coming over to research and community development. So you all might be knowing about as an individual, what you can do, it will be quite less when compared to that of a society, right? So as a society, you can build up a lot. Considering a company, if only the CEO would have been working, say Jamshedji Tata, if Jamshedji Tata would have been working as a single person, Tata would not have been established so high, and like Air India would not be in his control, right? So he started by working with himself, and then he started to grow his community, and henceforth he has created an empire called Tata, and now you all know what Tata is. And like it's just not with Tata, it's with each and every company. Considering a software-based company, say Meta or whatever you call as Facebook. So Zuckerberg never thought that he'll be starting with just a small chatting thing, and now he plays the bigger picture role. So wherever he sees a good population of 1 million or 10 million, he buys that company. And you all have been seeing that with Facebook, with WhatsApp and Instagram, etc., etc. So yeah, so what basically I would like to say is ki, as a community you can grow a lot. So, as an individual, what you can do? You can just complete your work. You will be given some assignments. You will be doing it, completing it within deadlines, etc., etc. Right? But at the end of the day, there is no one to supervise it, or no one there to. There's no one there to help you with it, or maybe support it, or maybe like or I say like encourage more to do, or maybe try to motivate you to do it in a different way, which might be easier or maybe more beneficial, or maybe with respect to, since I'm a biotech student, I'm not with biotech student, I'm not well versed with tech stuff, but yeah, what we call it as which will give less load to the RAM or to the PC, right? So a smaller program will help with it if compared with a bigger program. So that's the point. So when you grow as a community, or maybe even two members can also make a community. So ऐसा भी हो सकता है, right? Let's start with Anwar and Tasneem over here. Had there been only Anwar, he would have just gone, wrote, learned it, and just expressed his views over here. But there was a collaboration with other members, and there he has got his team members, etc. And now when we finally come up with this program, you just see that Anwar's presentation has been fabulous, right? Or else we knew that Anwar's presentation 2 days back was basically nothing. Sorry, Anwar, but yeah, that's I was just trying to explain the value of a community. So so basically, you all are understanding, right? What exactly how a community helps in development, etc., etc. So I'll leave the rest to Anwar for him to express his views over our community. But basically, our community is where we all discuss about our future learnings, our present learnings, and learn from our past learnings and help each other to grow as an individual, as a society, as a community, and bring up more success to our contributions. And that's all I want to say. Over to you, Anwar.
Thanks, Om. That was a beautiful explanation that you gave to us. Okay, so as the session has gone quite long. Okay, first let me present my screen. Okay, Om, is my screen visible?
Yeah, it's very well visible, so you
All
can
right, all
proceed.
right. As the session has gone quite long, so I'll be just try to wrap it. I wanted to try to make you guys understand about deep learning as well, but I'll try to be more fast. Okay, be more fast with my words. All right. So there are some machine learning limitations that we must understand. That's why there is there is the need of this deep learning, because machine learning cannot differentiate. Like if you give this picture to a machine learning model, so it will the machine learning model will deep learning itself a machine learning, but like I'm taking about that apart from deep learning, the rest part, the machine learning will face quite difficulty because we can see that the tiger on the left and the lion on the right, both have quite similar like features, like they have quite similar noses, the quite similar ears, and their height and the hair on their body. So like it seems quite similar. Okay, so even though we try to like use a machine learning model to differentiate like these types of pictures, to differentiate these types of things, a machine model will not be very much accurate in that. That is where deep learning comes in. Okay, so deep learning is like in the deep learning, the way like where from we get this idea of the deep learning. So inside deep learning, we use like what? We use neural networks as inspired by neurons. We all know that we are able like the brain functions and uses like neurons. There are neurons inside our brain. So the deep learning like is mostly based on like neural networks. So it tries we are trying to like what? We are trying to implement how we reason in our brain to like a concept. That is what deep learning is. It is a subsection of machine learning, and machine learning is a subsection of artificial intelligence. I'll show you guys some more illustrations. Like when we use a machine learning, there is a like an algorithm named decision tree. Okay, so when you will actually these are some like totally new terms. I think totally new terms for you guys. So you guys won't be like understanding what a tree actually is, because you would have read some very basic data structures like arrays and years. So trees comes later in your like syllabus, and like the more the advanced section of that tree is this decision tree. Okay, so we can try like using machine learning like to identify whether like a simple we are like to explain you guys. I'm just using like identifying examples. There are other example and illustrations as well. So deep learning is like the combined. Okay, so it's combined, like there are features involved, there are neural networks involved. It's not like the basic like we just put it into the machine learning algorithm and we will be getting the output. There are some certain like processes in between. Okay, so let me show you some examples, like the object detection in self-driving cars. As I already told you, like the computer vision is a subsection of deep learning. There is this healthcare image diagnosis, because our country suffered a lot in the time of pandemic. There were like few doctors available to check patients. There were few doctors available to like look into the reports. What if a machine learning model is able to successfully like depict by only viewing like a X-ray image, like what the patient is currently like the problem is. So like the treatment will be like a lot faster. There is this face recognition for law enforcement. Okay, then there is NLP, the natural language processing. There is this language translation. There is this speech recognition, and the search engines like the autocomplete, like the Google keyboard that we use. So these are some things that are like where deep learning is mostly concerned. Okay, so there is a saying that why like was artificial intelligence developed only into was so much developed only in the last decade? No, artificial intelligence is like from a long. Artificial intelligence was coined around 1950s, 1960s. But at that time, what we had, we did not have that much bigger data sets. We did not have faster computers. We were not having like much developed neural network concepts. But today we will see like many of you would have bought like powerful GPUs, powerful laptops. Like, but don't, I will advise like don't drain your like your laptops or your PCs with these. Like these are very like advanced processing. It will like it can if you implement such heavy algorithms in your computer might get damaged. So what we mostly use is like we mostly do like cloud-based technology. We try to like train our models into the cloud. That's where these are some of the fields like where artificial intelligence is making like a transformative changes. In the healthcare, there is this enhanced diagnosis, there is this drug discovery, patient care, research, sensory ads. In the finance part, in the government section, in the industrial, there is this energy, there is this transport. So a lot of things are being constant like changing. There is reformation in many sections of like the current world is like undergoing reformations using the artificial intelligence concepts. Then comes like if we don't have so much high powerful like computers, then what we could do? There comes the concept of cloud-based services. Okay, so there is this cloud like the Microsoft one. Its name is Azure. Okay, so let me tell you like Microsoft Azure, what it is. Like it is a cloud computing service created by Microsoft for building, testing, deploying, and managing applications and services through Microsoft managed data centers. One important thing that I would like to tell you, like when you sign up to the when you make your Azure account, you will get $200 extra like credits, which you can use to use those like computing machines that are available somewhere in the world, but you can access those machines. You can train your models, you train your high-end models using those machines by making use of this Azure server, Azure services and their free credits. If you like register as a student, you will get extra $100 credit. That is like these credits are utilized in the way of like payment, like a general public who is not a student or like or a general company who is using these Azure services, these cloud-based services, they have to pay. But as a student, because we need to learn before we can like implement anything, they are like providing you with extra credits so that you can implement. Okay. Then there are so many Azure AI services. There is this machine learning anomaly detection. Suppose like in racing cars, like you are developing a racing car, but you are like facing some difficulty in the performance of the racing car, and you would like to know, but you are not able to figure out. You have so much data regarding that racing car, but you are not able to like detect what is the anomaly here. So you can use a machine learning model, a deep learning model, to find out like if the performance is this and like that, so what could be the defect in that. So there are lots of opportunities, like lots of career opportunities in artificial intelligence. I'll be sharing all these resources you can use like Azure AI fundamentals. There are many exams. There are like free data sets that are available in the Kaggle. Okay, there are many courses that Microsoft provides. And if you become a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador, you get exposed to so many free courses that the Microsoft generally provides you as with certifications. You can like tell somewhere, you can flaunt in your LinkedIn, like I have get these certificates, and you can post it. Like many times I have like so many people have contacted me over LinkedIn, like we want to recruit you in these opportunities, we want to recruit you for that. So LinkedIn like profile, maintaining your LinkedIn profile, posting regularly what you are doing and what achievements, what projects you are working on is a nice thing to do. You can always connect me over my LinkedIn. I'm sharing my LinkedIn profile here, LinkedIn like / Anwar Saeed. Whenever you like, I'll be sharing a feedback form just now. And for any query, if I'll not be able to reach out to you through the community, Discord community, you can directly contact me over my LinkedIn. All right. And the next part is like that. We will finally be wrapping up. We will now wrap up the session. So hope you get valuable learning while attending this session. And we will now distribute the feedback form. And in a few days, we will hand you over the certificates. OK, make sure like on LinkedIn, you tag me and tag #MLSA. And for any queries, you can ask in the community to me, to Tasneem Kaushal, to Ayush Raj, to Om Shashwat, to Rishita Shaw, to Rishabh. We are all there to support and to like to tackle all your queries. We will so these things like okay. And now I'll be playing a small video here so you guys can see, and after that you guys can leave. All right. So where is the video? A small video. Just let me first share the feedback form. Where the feedback form are kept. Okay, so the feedback form is here. Make sure you fill these feedback forms for the certifications. All right, and but humans don't even know. Okay, you ask me all these queries in the community. Okay, I've shared the feedback form. Okay, fill this feedback form like before leaving this, because I'll turning off the responses. I'll also play a video here, and after watching that video, you guys can like go back to your works and explore machine learning. Okay, for any doubts and for any resources, you can ask directly in the Discord community.